In this tutorial, we are going to create our index.html page, which will be our home page, and we will create our style sheet and then link that style sheet. We will also set up some of our metadata in our head tag to set up for the rest of our pages. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to File, New, and we're going to create a new HTML document, and it should be an HTML5 document in your document window there. So go ahead and hit Create. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and save this right away. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and this is going to go inside our last name, first name, portfolio folder name. So you should see the folders that we created earlier. It needs to go inside of that. So please make sure that that's where that goes. And I'm going to type in index.html and hit save. So you should see that pop right in, right underneath your folders that you created earlier. Then the next thing I'm going to do right away is I'm going to go ahead and create that style sheet that will go to our page and basically set up our styles for our whole site. So same thing, File, New, and instead of HTML, we're going to select CSS there, and I'm going to hit Create. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit File, Save As right away. And this one's going to be, we're going to call this, I'm going to call this one Advanced Main for our main style sheet. And this is going to go in our CSS folder right in there. You can name this, say like if you want to name this portfolio main or your last name portfolio main, something like that. Whatever it is that makes it easy for you to find it later. We will probably not need to access this file from here on out, because the cool thing about Dreamweaver is when we link our style sheets into our pages, it'll create a tab up here for us to just click it back and forth between those linked pages. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of the advanced main CSS and come back to our index main or index.html page. So I need to do a few things to the head tag up here. The first one is directly to this HTML tag right here. So right now it just says HTML, and we have our closing HTML tag below that. I'm going to place my cursor right after the L in HTML, and I'm going to hit the space bar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to type in language, or LANG, and we're going to say that this is going to be English, so EN, okay? And then I'm going to move my cursor to the right of that, after the quotation mark, after EN, and then hit the space bar. And then we're also going to do an XML language tag there, so you should see it pop up in your code hints, and hit the enter return key, and then we're going to type in EN as well. Okay, so that's going to set the language for our site, which will make it compliant with ADA requirements. So I'm going to place my cursor right after that quotation mark in charset UTF-8 and hit the space bar. And we're going to type in right there. Right after that, we're going to type in HTTP equiv. So go ahead and hit the enter return key when you see the code hint there. And then we're going to select the content type option right there on the top. Okay? And then after that, we're going to hit the space bar again. And then we're going to type in content and then select the content options from the code hint. And then from there, we're going to type in text/HTML. Okay, so that's all we need to do there. And then following this tag, we're going to hit the enter return key. Oops. Enter return key. There we go. And we're going to type in meta type. So we're going to do a left caret here. And we're going to type in meta, and then type, and we're going to hit the equal sign and quotation marks. Okay, and inside the quotation marks right there, we're going to type in description. And after that, hit the space bar, and here we're going to type in content. And you're going to write in a cool description for your portfolio. So this might be something like Jeremy Sinks' awesome portfolio that demonstrates how cool and great he's going to be. I mean, that totally sounds egotistical, I know, but you get the point. It's think of it as kind of like an intro to yourself. And you might like think about the profile points that you use on your resume and maybe borrow a point from there. It doesn't need to be very long. It can be if you'd like it to, but it doesn't have to be. So for me, I'm just going to type in an advanced level portfolio design for biz students. Okay, and then don't forget to afterwards, for some reason my arrow key is not working, so that's why you keep seeing me click after this, / and then right caret. So don't forget the / there, okay? Okay, so after that closing caret there, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the enter return key, and we are going to add a new metadata tag that's going to essentially determine what the user's viewport is going to be, or the screen that they're going to be viewing this in. So I'm going to hit the left caret here, and we're going to call this, it's also a meta tag, so we'll select meta, and then name, and then viewport. Okay, and then from there you're going to hit the space bar and you're going to hit content, and in content you're going to type in width equals device dash width, or hyphen, type in width, right, comma, initial hyphen scale equals 1. And then after that quotation mark, hit the / and then the right caret. So you should see meta name, viewport, content, width, device width, comma, initial scale equals 1. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in our title, and I'm going to hit Control Z there. Actually, if you'd like, and sometimes this is nice, the white space here makes it helpful sometimes to read what we're looking at. So in the title here, we're going to change that title name, and that is going to be, I'm just going to call it Creator Biz Advanced Portfolio. What you should name it as is something like, you know, your first name, last name, portfolio. That should go in the title right there. Okay, and then finally we're going to get to linking our style sheet. So right after the title option right there, I'm going to hit the enter return key 2 times. So I'm going to separate it. You're going to see my title separated, and that's just for me easier readability. And left caret link href, and then we're going to browse for it, and it should pop up our style sheet there, and then hit open. If it doesn't pop open your style sheet, go back to your root folder and then select that CSS folder, and then select your CSS style sheet. Then hit the space bar, and we're going to type in REL, and this is going to be style sheet. So select that from your option menu there, and then space bar, and then type, and then text CSS, and then / right caret. Okay, that'll do it for our first tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this, and when we view our portfolio, there it goes, it finally popped in there. You should see a little bubble option right there with advanced main CSS. So we can click back and forth between our source code and our style sheet.